What's up, everybody? Welcome to Game Moose episode 111. That's a palindrome, folks. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Tifford, alongside the Broccoli Brock McLaughlin.
Hello.
And the ghost with the most, Drew McMillan.
Hey.
And this is a crazy, crazy Saturday we got going on here. We
Just
got
bananas.
so much to talk about. So on this week's show, we are going to talk about a lot of stuff we've been playing, including Lost Fear, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Shadow of the Colossus, and World of Warcraft. We're also going to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2's release date. That's a thing that's happening. And some sad news about Anthem. We're going to get into that in a bit. But first, this week, Nintendo had their weekly investor call. In fact, a lot of companies had their investor calls this week. So we got some new and interesting announcements from Nintendo this week. Kind of out of left field announcements. So the first announcement is that the Switch's online service will launch in September of 2018. So we know it's happening. Well, or at least we know what month this is happening. And
It's kind of a year later than that they said it was going to.
You mean like how it was supposed to be September of last year?
Yes.
And
then September came and went, and then nothing happened.
Yeah.
So here we are.
So this is a bit this seems like odd timing to me, because I feel like if they're releasing this in September and they don't want to say what day in September, it kind of leads me to believe that there's like some game or service or some other announcement to come that sort of correlates with this announcement. What do you guys think that is?
Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Yeah, I mean, of all the
Like
things
an online battling Pokemon?
Yeah, of all the things I can think of, you know, what's their big multiplayer thing that isn't Splatoon?
Yeah.
And the answer is Pokemon.
Because
Like Metroid wouldn't make sense.
No.
I don't think it'd be Fire Emblem. There's just not enough. Or maybe a Smash Bros. Like remake.
Well, like Fire Emblem, they haven't said anything about multiplayer, right?
No.
So like, why would I care? Maybe.
Well, I mean, Pokemon's the same way as Fire Emblem, where both games have multiplayer, but you can only play against someone locally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, either one of those could have an online component in their next iteration.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, what were the other ones we said?
Well, again, Metroid, no.
Maybe Metroid, because I mean, there was the whole Metroid Prime Hunters thing.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it seems like a stretch.
Yeah.
every time they've tried to do multiplayer with Metroid, it hasn't gone well.
Yeah.
Well,
to be fair, I think Federation Force gets a bad rap because of when it was announced and then the fact that it was multiplayer only. Because, I mean, you could play that game single player, but you could barely do anything. But when you actually played with other people, it was actually fun. Like doing the missions, because basically it was just normal Metroid Prime missions, but co-op.
Right.
So you played alongside other people, rather than the versus mode from Metroid Prime 2, which was no bueno. I think that it could work, but I hope that's not what they're doing with that. Like, I hope that this is some other game. Because, I mean, as it stands right now, like, if you had to pay for online service now, no one would do it. Except for people who are, like, hardcore into Splatoon. Because that's the only game that's
Super Mario Odyssey is going to have online soon, right?
Well, that's not part of this mode, like, part of the thing. It's, like, asynchronous online. Where, like, if you basically set a challenge for me, and then I go find it.
Yeah, so like,
but we're not playing together.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's different. It works out differently. So yeah, I'm curious. Like, I feel like there's something else. And you mentioned it before, Brock, offhand. Like, I think that it could be like a Smash Deluxe or something like that. Because I think that's a game that could really make people want to pay for this service.
I doubt it would be Mario Kart. We already have a Mario Kart.
Yeah, I don't think. And something like Smash, they would have announced it already if it was coming out that early, right? Like, we would have known something about it.
Well, if it was a new Smash, we would have known about it by now.
Yeah.
But I think if it's Smash Deluxe, like kind of like Mario Kart Deluxe,
right?
Then because Mario Kart Deluxe, we learned like 2 months before it was coming out that it was coming out.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only thing I can really think of. But I'm just curious I just wanted to pick your guys' brains to see what that is. Either way, I'm excited to see what this is because they announced the pricing a long time ago. It's super cheap. Like, it's $20 a year for their online service.
Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah.
A new online mode for Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Even more rabbity. Yeah.
This time you get to play as Rabbid Diddy Kong instead of Donkey Kong.
Gyromite. Gyromite Extreme for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Hot.
Yeah.
I thought that Gyromite is going to be the new Labo game, the new Nintendo Labo game.
That could easily be a Labo game as a new Gyromite. Because when was the last time we got a Gyromite?
we only had one.
Yeah. So come on, it's a franchise that's dying.
It's about
dying
time.
to get a sequel.
It's about time.
It's been more than 20 years.
Speaking of Labo, did you guys, either of you see the videos this week of people at the Nintendo Labo event in New York City?
I did. I read Kotaku's review.
Yeah.
I'm getting even more pumped for it.
Yeah.
It
A lot of
sounds
people were really impressed with it.
I like that you can set the car to like chase your dog or cat around the house or your loving child.
You're going to do that to your dog, aren't you?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, piss them off.
Yeah. I would do that to Ripley, but I'm pretty sure she would destroy whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because all you'd have to do is like step on it and
Boom.
it would be done.
I think the dog would be like, that's fucking cardboard.
Yeah.
Like, I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to work. Did you guys read about the garage feature, though? That they're adding to the variety pack?
Oh.
So the garage feature, basically, the variety pack it comes with a feature called the garage feature in its software, where basically what you can do is you can build your own creations in it. So even though what you get with the initial game are the motorbike and the fishing rod and the other things that come with it, you can actually take cardboard at home using the garage tool and sort of build your own things to interact with future Labo products. So, for example, you could actually design like a guitar. Like that's one of the things they showed at the event was a guitar that you could build just out of your own cardboard yourself, and then that can be used in other scenarios in game. It's really cool how they allow you to use technology that's already like just using cardboard in your house and use it.
That's great. That was part of the thing that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Was the idea that like I don't have to keep going out and buying cardboard kits to go with this, spending like what is presumably a lot of money. I mean, because again, we still don't know Canadian pricing, right? Like,
No, they still haven't announced it.
They still haven't told
Because
us
all
that.
these events were United States events too. They weren't going to announce any of that.
They haven't done anything up here. If they do, like, I really hope that one of us gets invited to that because we would really like to see what this.
Well, the problem is with these
like-
events is that they require you to bring your child with you. None of us have children.
I can just steal my nephew. He's
Yeah,
not
I can
doing
find a
anything.
child, no problem. If you're a child listening to this show, you probably shouldn't be. Second, hit me up on Twitter in my DMs.
That sounds
That
really
is
creepy.
weird, and don't get your parents' permission first.
Yeah, don't-
have your parents message me.
Can we not
Dapper, can I
solicit-
have your child?
Let's not solicit children.
Okay,
Sending us.
and we're off the rails 8 minutes in.
Yeah,
I'm looking for children.
I mean, it had to happen already. I mean, the second we mentioned Brock and children in the same sentence.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get arrested, aren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I mean, my out is always I have a 4-year-old nephew, so I can just take him.
See, that's true. So we're gonna send you. We delegated Drew to go to the San Francisco.
Actually, if you're curious and like want to get your hands on like Labo before Labo comes out, you should check out like right now I think General Mills is doing it like on Cocoa Puffs and stuff. They have cereal boxes you can pull apart and make them do all kinds of things. It's really cool.
That's the kind of shit we're talking about. Just more people do that. That's awesome.
It's Rube Goldberg like partnered with the cereal boxes, so you can build like a cannon. You can build your Cheerios into a dump truck and like have it dump cereal into your bowl.
Oh, I like that.
It's a really cool like system.
It's a
So you
great
check
way
it
to
out.
get children to eat sugary breakfast cereals that they probably shouldn't be eating anyway.
kind of like how eventually
Diabetes.
What you need to do is you need to take the robot kit from Labo, get rid of the cardboard that comes with it, and just make it a Count Chocula robot suit.
Count Chocula. Have you ever had Count Chocula? Or
No.
I've had Count Chocula before.
Yummy Mummy, Fruit Brute, any of the Monster series.
Well, I've had a
breakfast
yummy
cereals?
mummy, Drew, but that's something different.
They only come at certain times.
I'm pretty
of
sure
year,
you've had a Fruit Brute too. Yeah, we used to like when Target was in Canada for all of 3 months. We got Count Chocula and we got Frankenberry, and they are delicious. Frankenberry especially tastes like fresh strawberries.
There is no doubt in my mind that Nintendo is not gonna put on like Labo stuff on cereal boxes coming later this year.
Yeah,
But
well,
that
they
had
already
to
did
be
in
why.
Amiibo,
That
right?
had to be why they did this
But
to test the waters.
The thing is, though, Brock, with the garage feature, any cereal box is now Nintendo Labo.
But they got to have like actual pre-made ones that will work. Like there's no doubt in my mind that'll come out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so moving on to the next announcement, and this is something that Brock, of all people, will probably be excited about. There's a Mario animated movie in the works at Illumination, being co-produced by Miyamoto.
There's nothing I love more than a good children's film.
You're like
and I love the Minions.
I kind of figured.
Yeah. So yes, I am very excited for this.
Yeah.
I hope it is cheesy as fuck. Get the Paddington 2 writers on that movie, and it will be brilliant.
Is this the Mario movie we heard about like
Yes.
a while ago?
Yes.
This is it.
'Cause
Nintendo
it was-
finally confirmed.
Yeah,
And is this animation studio fucking garbage? I don't know anything about it.
No, they did Despicable Me.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same studio.
The studio that brought you Minions,
Oh,
not
right.
the Emoji Movie.
Yeah,
Thankfully.
that movie's really bad.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie.
Now we can
It's
finally
not
get the crossover we've been waiting for. Mario plus Minions plus Rabbids.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Online Minions game. That's
Yeah.
what's coming.
No.
Yeah.
I
Stop
mean,
giving Ubisoft ideas.
it would sell like hotcakes.
It would.
Is Minions, like, do kids still care about Minions?
Maybe not. The Despicable Me 3 did not do very well this year.
Yeah, like I remember going to Universal Studios like 5 years ago, and like Minions were all over the place.
Wow, it's been around that long now, eh?
Yeah, yeah,
I guess so. They're like all over the dollar store, so they've
Yeah.
been around.
yeah. And was it Sony?
No,
Despicable Me?
no.
Who was
Sony
the,
put out the Emoji
Who
Movie.
was the distributor?
Universal.
There you go. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So last bit of news that came from this call was that there's a new mobile game coming, guys. Mario Kart Tour has been announced for smartphones. It will come sometime before April 2019, so basically the end of the next fiscal. How the fuck is this game going to work? 'Cause they-
I don't know. Racing games are not good on mobile,
No.
like at all.
not
I mean,
only that-
most games aren't good on mobile.
No.
The thing is, Nintendo's vision that they said from the very beginning with their mobile games too is that one-handed gameplay. So you play with one hand, which means it's not going to be accelerometer Mario Kart. Like,
Right.
how is it going to work in one hand? Are you going to take like your thumb and then just move it back and forth, and that's how you're going to race?
I guess it'll be the opposite of Super Mario Run, where you just keep keep driving.
Yeah,
you
like-
can't stop. You just like you said, you probably just move the steering wheel.
That's so weird.
Well, do you remember the old, like really old racing games where basically like the Game and Watch ones where like there'd be like a thing like an obstacle would flash and then you'd hit a button and then your car would move over and then the obstacle would like
Kind of like the Tiger Electronics games.
Yeah. Game and Watch,
Yeah.
Tiger Electronics, same sort of thing. Like it could just be that. It's just as simple as like you have your cart and it's kind of like Flappy Bird or some shit, right? Where like it's like you're holding down to accelerate or something, or you've got like a left and a right.
I really don't like the
know.
sounds of this. People are very excited about this. I think the problem is that like all the journalists like ran with like such a misleading photo because they used photos of Mario Kart 8, and
Right.
it's probably not going to look
Well,
like
'cause
Mario
there
Kart
are
8.
no photos of
Yeah.
this.
No,
We
It's
don't
way
know-
too early.
We literally know nothing about this.
My expectation is, well, first of all, like mobile on the mobile platform, action games in general are bad, right? We're talking about like what games are successful on mobile platforms. It's games that are like turn-based and things like clickers and idle
Puzzle games are
and
fine.
Puzzle games,
Yeah.
right? Things where you can take your time.
Yeah.
Action games are not.
No.
Right.
No.
Things like. The closest we get to good action games are Infinite Runners, which is why we had the Mario Run game, which was fucking shit, but in the end it was pretty boring and lame.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, like it sounds like they're probably going to do something similar for this, if
Yeah.
I'm to guess, and I think it's going to be as
Like they've
Not
already given
great.
up on Mitomo.
Yeah, that's shutting down. That's not in our report here, but Mitomo is shutting down, I think, next month.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very soon.
Yeah. Animal Crossing as well. Like, I think from what I hear, like that community, the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp community is kind of dead too.
Yeah.
So, like, the only one that the only like big hit they've had on mobile is Fire Emblem Heroes. Like,
Yeah.
because it has like the same kind of action of Fire Emblem, but it's very, very quick.
Yeah.
Like looking at
turn-based.
looking at the top of the App Store right now, it's still Minecraft. Who's playing Minecraft still on mobile?
I was on tablets. Maybe?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, tablets.
That is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And
The-
some game named Paco about driving.
The point is probably none of them are Nintendo games because
No.
Super Mario Run
Oh, yeah, no.
might be up there, but no one really paid for that game. And then I think Fire Emblem's the only one they said that it's actually really.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I have Grand Theft Auto on mobile. It is not a fun experience in any which way.
Yeah.
It's probably as fun as playing Mega Man 2 on your phone. Because I remember those Capcom things happened last year where they released all the Mega Man.
The inbox for our website got spammed crazy for someone claiming that there's a Grand Theft Auto 5 for mobile and sent us a link like 47 times, and I had to go and delete them all. It was really annoying. So don't fucking do that.
We should totally do that.
Yeah.
All right,
Wait, what?
everyone spam our inbox.
No.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming to mobile. Someone was trying to give us a hot tip and you just blew them off.
No, it was not good.
Single player DLC is coming? Is that what you're saying?
What?
No.
Oh, okay.
Single player DLC doesn't exist anymore, Brock.
I mean, especially not for Rockstar games.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, it seems like Nintendo had some okay announcements. Again, the one that makes the most sense, and the one that's to be excited about is the online mode, especially because I
Mario
wanted to bring
movie.
up before we moved on the fact that Virtual Console probably will be coming with this because we know that's already part of the online bundle.
Yeah.
So it means that we'll hear about that no later than September, which I'm excited to hear how that's even going to work because they keep talking about it like it's something like Game Pass is, where you're going to be able, when you subscribe to the online, you'll get access to NES and SNES games. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work with the Switch.
And before we leave the topic of the Switch,
Yeah?
we'll talk about this later in the show too. But Night in the Woods and Celeste, they're both available for the Switch, and I highly recommend both.
Yeah, you really love both of those
I
games.
really love both of them. They're both about complex topics, and they're very good.
Yeah. And they have cool art styles.
They do have very good art styles and great music.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to our really sad topic that's going to make Drew really sad.
Oh,
is,
we're gonna talk
in
about my
quotes,
uncle again?
Depressed as fuck. So let's talk about Anthem. So EA also had their investors called this week
I'm laughing
and
and
talked
crying.
about some things, including the fact that microtransactions are officially coming back to Battlefront 2. Yay! But also that Anthem, the delay that we heard about Anthem is officially confirmed now.
Yeah.
We do know that Anthem is delayed till sometime late 2019, which is good because that's actually better than what we heard from the Kotaku article where it sounded like they were trying to rush it out sometime in like March of 2019.
Yeah.
Whereas the investor call made it sound like they were like pushing it back to like fall of 2019 for extra polish.
Yeah. Which is a game, I think it's the kind of game that would do really well in fall 2019 because, like, that's a triple A, like, just fucking home run of a title.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's like, it's BioWare. They've been working on it forever. It's like crazy action multiplayer game. Like, it's a game you'd expect to come out in the fall.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah. That's
Like
exciting.
Casey Hudson's back,
Yes.
hopefully making it not terrible this
Yeah.
time. Yeah, I'm really excited about Anthem, and I'm glad that it sounds like they've learned the lesson from Andromeda and taking their time with this.
Yeah.
Unlike what we heard from
Well, I mean-
Jason's article.
Taking their time wasn't necessarily the problem with Andromeda, in so much as that the biggest problem with Andromeda is they didn't commit to a direction. They didn't have a clear vision, and
Right.
they didn't stick to it.
Yeah.
And then when they did finally have a clear direction, they didn't give themselves enough time to finish the game.
Yeah.
Right. That, but then also, like, the story was fucking garbage. So
Oh yeah, I mean we talked about it on our spoiler cast. Like the biggest problem with Andromeda is not
it's not
the
bugs.
the
Like,
bugs.
bugs are a thing,
No.
but that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is the story is really poorly executed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, Drew, as the BioWare expert of this panel.
Sure.
If Anthem doesn't do well, is it the end of BioWare? As we know it?
How not well?
Like, if let's say if it comes out and there are a whole bunch of problems, or if it comes out and the community plays it for like a week and then never touches it again, kind of like what we're seeing with Destiny 2 almost.
You know, like even if that happened, I think regardless of what's going to happen, this thing's going to sell like millions of titles regardless. I don't think it's possible for it to fail to the degree that it would ruin the studio.
Okay.
I don't think that's possible. It would create such bad blood that whatever their next thing is would have to be a grand slammer. That would be it. And I imagine that the thing that's after that is Dragon Age.
Yeah, they've already been talking about Dragon Age 4.
Yeah,
So you
and
know what's happening.
You know, it sounds like Dragon Age 4 is going the direction of being a loot box live game. And if people are really soured by what happens with Anthem, then that will destroy the next title, and that will be... So if, like, Anthem will probably fall short of expectations if that's the case, but not be a total failure.
Right.
It just means the next game will be a nosedive unless it's an absolute grand slam. But I don't see... Number one, I don't anticipate Anthem being that much of a hot mess.
Right.
It sounds like they have too many of their A players on it. The problem with Andromeda, in terms of BioWare, is it essentially wasn't BioWare, right? It was a studio, it was a farm studio that was doing the multiplayer stuff for Mass Effect from 2 and on, that got thrust into being the lead developer on a AAA title, something they had never done before.
Yeah.
A bunch of leadership that really didn't know what they were doing. There were a bunch of transitions in leadership, and then even at that, they were still farming that studio for their A talent to go back to Anthem. So, like, you know, it just sounds like everything that was done to BioWare Montreal was like was setting them up to fail, right? They didn't have great leadership. They didn't have like all the best talent. They didn't have the resources they needed. You know, there was a brain drain back to Edmonton. You know, it sounds like they were putting all of their eggs into the Anthem basket,
right?
In terms of, you know, so like, I think the likelihood of it not being a good game is quite low. But I mean, that being said, making games is incredibly complicated and very hard. Yeah. So who knows, right? At this point, I think if anything, the fact that it's been delayed is, you know, like we've said, it can only be a good thing, right? The more time they get to finish this game, the better. No one's ever said a game's been delayed too many times when it's a really well-reputed studio.
Yeah.
I think the only time I can really say that a game's been delayed too many times and definitively it's been a bad thing was Duke, because that was a studio that didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah.
So
it's not like the general public knows anything about Anthem either.
No.
They have not a clue what's going on.
Yeah, because I mean, all we've really seen is that E3 trailer, and then we've heard nothing since.
Which
even
really great.
Even people who watch that probably have already forgot about it. Like it's out of their like minds. This is fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Once that real like they really start pumping with the PR cycle, which they haven't done, which is why we knew that something was up. I expect that this will probably get a lot of people excited because we need something new to be excited about, right? Like what's around the corner?
A new franchise? Hell yeah.
Yeah, like something new. Like what's around the corner that's new, that has a lot of potential, has like again a great studio, great talent, great reputation. I mean, we've got Last of Us 2 is
God of War,
but I mean, like God of War will be out by then, right? Like I can't think of anything that's like
the
Red Dead.
First one I can think. The first one that comes to mind for me is Detroit.
Yeah,
I don't know how much of a franchise that is because it is Quantic Dream and they always do one-off games.
Yeah,
but that's like the one that comes to mind is when I think about like interesting new ideas for games.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is just like a game that like just gets people so fired up.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what we always hoped would have happened after Mass Effect 3. Because, again, Mass Effect... I was very surprised when I heard they were going back to Mass Effect, like BioWare, because, like, traditionally, they... Like, first of all, with Mass Effect 3, they wrapped everything up. Other than, like, the ending, I guess.
Yeah.
Even then, like, you couldn't even have a game that would really happen realistically after that game.
Yeah.
Unless you went to another galaxy, which is what happened in Andromeda. But, like, I secretly hoped after Mass Effect 3, BioWare would then move on to their new IP, and that would be their next game. Kind of like how when Mass Effect first came out, that was the idea when Mass Effect came out, was like they didn't. That's the reason they didn't do KOTOR 2 or didn't do Jade Empire 2, even though they announced Jade Empire 2 and it never came out. There was an announcement of that happening.
I would sure love a Jade Empire 2
Yeah, if only.
I mean, like, but I mean, in terms of like new franchises, I think Brock hit the nail on the head. Is, you know, like there's nothing really new.
Yeah,
that's really exciting. Right.
Yeah.
That you can say like like this studio is doing something that's brand new. It's a studio that every single game they've ever produced I've loved. You know, like shit.
We have a lot of sequels and threequels and quadruples coming.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
But even at that, like a lot of the sequels are kind of meh at this point.
Yeah.
Like, other than like whatever, I think the thing that I'm most excited about, we don't even know anything about, is whatever the guys who did Titanfall are working on.
Respawn? Well, we know they're working on that Star Wars game.
We know, but we don't know what that is.
Okay, there is something. The Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that'll be out by the time it's out, right?
Yeah. We hope.
Yeah. But again, like the Spider-Man game is it's a known quantity. Like we know what a Spider-Man game looks like.
Yeah.
And as long as they take that and just make the best Spider-Man game out there.
The real answer you're really just searching your brain for is Death Stranding. That's the hot new IP
that is never coming out.
Yeah.
that is a PS5 launch
You're
title.
all about Norman Reedus and that baby.
Yeah.
I'm all about Norman Reedus on anything.
Yeah, I think so is Kojima.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Him and Del Toro are getting weird together.
Yeah, they're definitely banging, right?
Hot.
I mean, something.
I could see you cosplaying as Del Toro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, I think I have to put weight back on.
Yeah, a little bit.
Point.
Yeah.
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 The best thing is when he played the crazy grandfather on It's Always Sunny. He played the grandfather in the McPoyles.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and the wedding one. Do you remember the wedding episode, the McPoyle wedding, where everything's like zombie stuff?
No.
No. Yeah, go back and watch that.
All
Episode.
right.
It's good, and it's got Guillermo del Toro.
Okay, all right.
As Grandpappy McPoyle.
It's Always Sunny is probably one of the funniest shows on TV.
Yeah, yeah, and the 12th season now.
Yes.
Like, holy shit, they just keep going.
It'll be the longest running comedy show, right?
Probably.
I think so.
know.
It's up to has a contract to like the 15 seasons.
Yeah. I think it's because they're smart. They just keep not asking for more money.
I'm so excited to hear more about Mac's Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
Where are we at with that? Because that
It's
should be
never happening.
I
Death Stranding will be out first.
I hope it's live action.
Yeah, I mean,
Now the real question is, what comes out first, that or Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Final Fantasy VII.
yeah.
Let alone the third chapter.
Well, no,
the third
just,
episode.
just episode 1.
Yeah, just episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But God forbid, if they ever get to the third episode of that, I can't even imagine. All right, let's move on then to what we've been playing, because surprisingly, it's been a busy time for games, like in the last week and a half. Lots of amazing games that came out. So let's talk about some of them. First of all, what did you play this week, Drew?
So I played a lot, well, as much as I could of the Sea of Thieves beta before it went down on the 31st.
Yarr.
And I was really sad because it wasn't the end of the day on the 31st. It was like midday.
They just pulled it.
Yeah, which sucked because I was actually starting to like it.
I was really pumped when you're like, let's play. I was like, fuck yeah, let's
we were
do
getting all
it.
fired up. We were getting ready to go, and then I wanted. I'm like, fuck, I can't log in. And then I checked Twitter, and I was like, oh, it's down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though they released an update for it,
They're
like a day later.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, that's what I saw. It was downloading on my Xbox on Thursday.
Yeah.
Very strange. But
They'll have another closed beta window.
There's a big review embargo coming up on the 12th of February, and we're gonna get a lot more details.
Like a review.
They flew out a bunch of guys to Rare, and there's a lot coming. And from their early impressions, it's pretty incredible. And the beta was missing a lot of things.
Yeah.
Which we kind of suspected when we talked about it last week.
When I started putting the pieces together and I started realizing what this game was and how it worked, I started getting really excited.
Yeah, like there's some potential here for a really good game.
Like the notion of like, I was like, wait a minute, trying to find the islands is a bit of a pain. It would be awesome if I had like one of my friends up in the crow's nest with their telescope. Oh shit! And just started like, it all just started coming together, you know, like, and like things like, did you guys ever find the chest of sorrows?
No.
So like it's a random chest that you can find. It's a quote unquote cursed chest. So when you it looks like it has a face on it.
Yeah.
And when you put it on your ship, it starts to cry.
Yeah.
And it starts to flood your ship. So you have to bail your ship out. But as one player, you can't bail your ship out fast enough, right? And do all the other stuff or to sink. You need someone else to be bailing out. So because you have someone on bailing duty while another person is. It's like that kind of like emergent sort of synergistic gameplay that it was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. But it relies on people cooperating. Right.
Which is going to be potentially be a big problem.
Yeah. And then when I ran into a person for the first time and like realized we were both going for the same chests and like it turned into a bit of a duel where it was like we were shooting each other and then
I challenge you to a duel.
Yeah, like then like rush each other with our swords when we're both reloading our pistols and
There's some fun to be had.
Yeah, it's a good game. I mean, I think there's the roots of a good game are there.
Yeah.
It's just be a matter of is the player base there, you know, and are enough people playing it. Yeah, I think it's cool though.
And we talked about it a bit last week. Like I think that if we had like a big group of friends together, like if I was in high school.
Yeah.
Because back when I was in high school, me and my friends played StarCraft every night together, and that was our thing. And we used to play like big 4-on-4 teams online, or even just play like 8-person free-for-alls. Like I think that if I was in that situation again, like Sea of Thieves would be the perfect game to do that with. Where if you had like a dedicated group of friends that you were always playing with, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like it would be an incredible experience. But I mean, the way I play games now is very different from that. So I don't think. As much as I think that this game would be amazing for, I think that's who they're really going for with this game. It's a group of friends that's always playing together.
So I mean, like I've had that experience with Destiny. You know, like I have my core group of sort of like Destiny playing friends.
Yeah,
and
like a guild.
I tend to be on at the same time, so it worked out.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I can get that. So like I'm gonna try to like convince like my buddies to get it. And I think we should try at least when it comes out to play it.
Sea of Thieves is a lot more casual too.
Yeah, which is nice, yeah, because it's just you jump on, you know, you get on your boat and away you go. And as a matter of fact, it's easier the more people you have, right? Like you can get going faster. right? So like, somebody runs over and gets, once you get the voyages, you have the voyages, right? Like you as an individual have them. That's something that like I didn't realize. So you don't have to keep going back and getting them. Once you've got them, you've got them.
Yeah.
And then like if other people have harder voyages in their inventory, like then you can join them on that and so on.
Yeah.
So, and then who gets to cash them in and how you get the gold? I don't know how that works because I haven't really played it with a bunch of people. Yeah. How do you share? Do you share gold whenever?
Yeah, you all get the same amount.
Okay.
That's why you want to do the higher ones because you get bigger payout.
Right.
So you just go to the captain's desk and then the money gets distributed.
Right.
So it's just all split.
Right.
Which again works like an MMO does.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I did notice is that like on the harder ones, there were more chests, right? And then also I started getting the random like little quest things where it was like go to like it was basically on this island. It was like a little clue, but it wasn't like a direct map.
It's usually a small little island, right? And
Yeah.
there's usually sharks.
I don't know. I don't remember.
There's usually like enemies there guarding it.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just sounds like I'm genuinely excited about this game. Like I wasn't sure what it was going to be or how it was going to work, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I just hope there's more.
Yeah, me too.
That's all. 'Cause
And
right now-
and from all indications, there is.
It sounds like there is. Because right now it's very plain. Like there's only two enemy types. There's a shark and a skeleton.
Also, I can tell you right now, also definitively, this game has already won the best water of 2018.
Yes.
Holy shit, does that water look good?
Yeah. My only concern with it is we've heard leaks about this, as Brock alluded to, about more features coming to this game. And from what we hear about the progression, that there is progression from unlike what we talked about last week where there isn't one.
Yeah.
The problem is the progression is entirely cosmetic, meaning you're not getting additional gear, you're not getting more powerful. Like there's not that power ramp of that.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see how that's going to play out with the player base because if you've already got, let's say, like the one hat you want, or like the outfit you want, what incentive is there for you to keep playing it? So I'm interested to see how that angle is going to play out when people go to play it. Because like, what's going to keep bringing you back week to week?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, right now, like just the idea of collecting gold and seeing what the next voyages are and how they get harder, that alone got me excited.
Yeah.
Like simple stuff like going to an island and for the first time seeing an island where there was like a cannon and a skeleton shooting at your ship, right? And like again, me going like, oh shit, if I had a dude with me, he could be shooting the cannon back and I could be doing circles around the island, or like somebody could jump off the boat, run up and kill the skeleton. Like it just like that kind of emergent gameplay started to become more apparent to me the more I played it and the more I realized how much more fun it could be.
I like watching pirates leave their boats unattended and going on and stealing their shit.
Yeah.
But I wish there was more shit to steal.
But yeah, like you're a pirate.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna pirate stuff.
Yeah.
That's they just kind of seem to encourage that, which is great.
Yeah.
Other game I played, Call of Duty World War II.
WW2,
Decided
baby.
to take a big bite out of that. It officially wins the most boring World War II video game I've ever played.
Yeah.
That shit is just over fucking. I'm so done with it.
It's not good.
It's just a boring.
I
boring
really
ass
hate
game.
Josh Duhamel so much.
yeah.
He's so ridiculously bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a fun story mode. There was one mission that's good, and that's about it. That's one where you get to dress as the Nazi.
Yeah.
And infiltrate.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Infiltrate?
Infiltrate.
Infiltrate.
But the rest of the game is
infiltrate.
incredibly dry.
Like it was one of those things where like I started playing it and it was like it felt like minute to minute, like the opening like D-Day invasion landing scene was like, number one is like, we get it, you saw Saving Private Ryan, we understand that you saw it and you
But
liked
now
it.
you can play it.
We've been able to play it so many times before.
I played it like the first time they did it in a Medal of Honor game.
Back in like the PlayStation 2 days.
Yeah, it was like Medal of Honor, like
one of the first ones,
like D-Day or something like that. It was an early one, and it was really good.
Allied
It was
Assault
really,
is
really
what
good,
you're
and it was
thinking
the same sort of sequence of events. It's like you get off the ship, you avoid the machine gun fire by hiding behind tank traps and stuff like that.
You go in the
And
trenches.
You go into the trenches. You get the Bangalore. Then
Yeah.
you blow up the barbed wire, and then you get through, and then you're working your way through the trenches to the bunkers. The end. But yeah, like I've done that a million fucking times, and it was so boring. Like it was like, oh great, oh yeah, there's another Nazi.
Yeah.
There's another.
The
Nazi.
character isn't exciting at all.
I should say there's another German soldier because they're not all Nazis.
Right.
Yes, I didn't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I was really excited
But
for
you
that
can't
game.
stop playing, can you? You just have to get to the end.
Well,
or did
yeah.
you beat the story?
I haven't beat the story
Yeah.
yet, no, but like
It's short and sweet.
I stopped playing. Like when I stopped playing, it was like I really don't like this. It's one of those things that I don't care. I super don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I was really excited for it before it came out, and yeah, after playing it, it was not. It just didn't do it for me the way that Battlefield 1 did. Like I felt like the system in Battlefield 1 surprised. It was more fun. Also, it was a war we haven't seen a million times.
Yeah.
Because seeing World War One for the first time in a video game, at least that I can remember, because I know that there were other games that have had World War One.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it was really interesting to see that war as opposed to World War Two, because seeing different events and it wasn't just echoing Saving Private Ryan. It was going to do it was very different.
Or
It felt
Band
very
of Brothers, or you know, like it's Call of Duty World War II's got a bit of that going on. Like the opening cinematic is too long. You know, like
the fact that if you leave that first mission, it doesn't save, which means that if you play for what happened to me was if you play the opening mission for about 30 minutes or so, and then you save and quit, it doesn't actually bring you back to the same spot. You have to do the mission over again.
Oh wow, that's really good fun.
Yeah, because I did that once. Like before, I was like, all right, I'm gonna shut this off and go to bed because I've played enough.
Yeah.
Went back the next day and it's like, well, you're starting the mission over again. I'm like, nope, I ain't doing this.
So with all due respect, fuck that game.
Hold X to pay respects.
Yeah.
Cool. Brock, what'd you play this week?
I played Dragon Ball Fighter.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Dragon Ball FighterZ.
It's good fun.
Yeah.
I know you'll have a lot more to say, so I'll save that.
No, we can talk about now in the conversation.
I like it. It's fun. I'm playing it for the story, of course. I don't really want to go online because I'm going to get killed. We played before the show, and you destroyed me in about 3 moves. I'm not good at fighters, but I really like Dragon Ball.
No, the main thing is that it's very casual. It feels it's very easy to get into, but the combat system is very deep. Like it's one of those games that I'm really excited to see high level technical play of, because I think that like two people who've really mastered that game, I think could have some really interesting matches.
I like the dynamic of having 3 people on your roster at all times. Yeah. That's really fun. The story mode just is. I like the story itself.
Yeah.
But getting to each like moment is super repetitive.
Because basically the story itself, just so viewers at home know, is kind of like. It plays out kind of like one of the Dragon Ball movies does, like almost like Cooler's Revenge or BoJack Unleashed or any of those other Dragon Ball Z movies.
When I think of BoJack, I think of BoJack Horseman fighting Goku.
Yeah. Does he also go Super Saiyan?
Todd does.
Really long mane.
Yeah.
No, BoJack fights Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and it's a good movie.
So who's BoJack?
He's like a villain from space.
Is he
just like every Dragon Ball villain?
Yeah, no, they're not.
He's like really tall and
villains.
has like dark skin and he's got dumb hair.
But speaking of Super Saiyan Gohan 2, that's when Android 16 died. He turned into that mode, and Android 16 is a big player in this game, which is a very odd choice.
Yep.
As is Yamcha, apparently?
Yeah, Yamcha is awesome in it.
All the one nice thing that they did, and Brock and I talked about this before starting the show today, is that all the characters are very well balanced. You can play as anyone and not have a bad time. It's not like playing as Dan, where you're at a legitimate disadvantage.
What do you mean Dan gives you a disadvantage? Dan is great.
Dan gives you a legitimate disadvantage.
He's got like that cool kick where he goes up in the air a little bit.
What are you talking about? Who's Dan?
Street Fighter, yeah. I mean, Dan is a like a Ryu.
Okay.
He's the weakest of the Ryu clones.
Yeah, and he has his like steps like a little remix. Like I think it was his fireball is a little bit different.
It just goes like 2 feet in front of you.
Yeah,
and it's tiny and it barely does any damage.
Yeah, and like his like hurricane kick goes up on an angle a little bit. Yeah.
No one feels like a clone in this game. Everyone feels different, and it's really cool.
Because even like the Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue versus the normal Goku and Vegeta feel completely different, which is what's really cool. Like I love the diversity with all the different characters. They all have their own unique style. Again, Yamcha is actually useful. Even Nappa, who like is such a weak character in the anime, is like totally awesome. He's totally fun to play as. And all the little nods to the show that they do are really well played out. Like some of the video I showed you guys of the Yamcha's revenge against Nappa, which is so good. Where like the Nappa summons the little Cyberman that blows Yamcha up, and he's in that usual pose. Instead, Yamcha Kamehamehas the Cyberman and then destroys Nappa, and then Nappa's in that same pose, like in the destroyed crater.
That's dope.
It's so cool.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love that.
They have so many little nods to the show, and they've if you compare scene by scene with all the super moves with their show counterparts, they're identical, which is really cool. Like I love the attention to detail here.
What about Krillin? Is he fucking shit up in this game?
Yeah,
Krillin's good. He's quick and he's small.
I love Krillin.
He's really small.
He's probably my favorite character in the show.
One fun fact about the Destructo disc that they got right is that you can't block the Destructo disc. It still hurts you. Because in the show, that's the idea with the Destructo disc. It cuts everything in half, regardless if they're more powerful than him.
Some of the jokes made at Krillin in the story are really funny. the Yamcha and him have some great banter, mainly about Krillin's hair and Krillin's family. It's good. It's really good. Yamcha has some great dialogue. Yeah, he's cracked me up quite a few times.
It's kind of like where the show gets a little got just nuts when they introduced the Super Saiyans and the notion that like Goku is an alien from outer space and has like these magical superpowers.
I mean, at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, because that's the very first thing they do.
Yeah, but they keep ramping that up, right? The Dragon Ball Z, first of all, like goes on for a while before like the Super Saiyan shit happens and stuff like that. But basically, at that point, they just say, well, the reality is that Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, they all exist in a class better than everyone else. It's kind of like having Superman and Batman. That was the whole thing with Krillin and Yamcha and those guys is like they could never be as good as them because they don't have the super magical powers. They don't have the birthright to be awesome, which was always a bummer.
And they always one of the things that I like about Dragon Ball Super is that they've curved that where they basically sort of balance out the power levels again, where now everyone's sort of on the same level,
which is good. Yeah.
If you do want to catch up on Dragon Ball Z, all 9 seasons are on sale on Xbox for Anime Month.
Or if you subscribe to Funimation, you can just watch them on there.
We get Funimation here?
Yeah. Oh. It's $5 a month. You can watch
because it's on Crunchyroll.
Because you can watch all the episodes of all the Dragon Ball series. So Dragon Ball Z, GT, and Super on Funimation.
Does Funimation come with an Xbox app?
It has a Xbox.
Oh.
GT is not canon.
GT is not canon.
GT is not canon, and it's not good.
But you can go watch it if you want. Plus, it has all the Dragon Ball movies too.
It's got Super on Funimation?
Yeah.
It's
Super dubbed.
Like GT kind of gets back to Dragon Ball's original roots, like the pre-Dragon Ball Z thing. Like the setup, because that was the Dragon Ball I knew. I was watching the original Dragon Ball, which is about them trying to find the Dragon Balls and like travel across the world.
That's why the Saiyan arc in Dragon Ball Z is the best arc in that show, because it feels like a Dragon Ball arc.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah. But getting back to fighters, because we're sort of off topic. Again, the thing we talked about before this just started about the story is that the story beats are nice, but the problem is getting to their, like, the combat in the story is not great because you fight clones of all the characters. And you sort of
not all the characters. The same like 6 characters on repeat.
Exactly. Like you go around a little map and there's only clones of like the same 6 characters. So you'll fight like sometimes against the same team 3 times in a row, which isn't interesting to me. So I think this is getting the story beats is fine, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's 10 hours if you finish like from start to finish the whole story, but. Yeah, like it.
The whole story. Well, one part of the story.
No, just the first part is each part is 3 hours long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like I've been playing for days.
Yeah. Well, again, that's if you do every fight.
Right.
If you just, for the most part, do a couple fights and then do the.
You can really skip a lot of the fights, even if that's like level 15 and you're like level 6. You probably have no problem.
I would say for new Dragon Ball FighterZ players who are just playing the story for the first time or just picking it up now, I would say the key to the story is, unless you're going for the achievement to get to level 40, just do the fights that you need to get to the boss battle.
Yeah.
On each map.
It's really easy. Most of the enemies don't really fight back because they're doing a tutorial for each one.
Well, that's only in the first episode, and then the enemy episode, which is in the second one, that's when they get away from that.
Gotcha.
But they're still really easy. Yeah. At least for someone like me who's like...
Yeah, someone who's good. Yeah. But I do like the game. I really hate the HUD. I really, really hate the HUD world.
Yeah, the hub world.
I don't have fun with that. It's extremely annoying. Like, let me just choose a menu option to go to single player mode.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk around this weird little world with fat-headed Vegetas running around.
Yeah.
But I love the attention to detail of all the little places in there, including like the World Martial Arts Tournament area where like there's like each person in the crowd is like an animated character, and it's just like them standing up. It looks really cool.
Where's Master Roshi in this game?
He's not there.
Yeah, I wish he was.
And again, is like
I want to ride his little turtle.
Yeah, and he's like horny all the time.
Yeah, he is.
Weird horny.
He's also one of the MVPs in the Tournament of Power in Dragon Ball Super.
Nice.
Because he gives up his lust for women in order, and that gives him the power to be able to compete with Goku.
Couldn't do that.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. You have to watch Super.
I know. I could lust for men instead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my thing about Dragon Ball Super before we move on to what else you've been playing is that there's a big problem with the online mode that I encourage people to sort of wait till this is patched before you jump into that aspect of it. And that is, unlike a lot of other fighting games, and Street Fighter V had this exact same problem at launch, and it was a big issue, is that there's no penalty for leaving a match early. And if you leave a match early against your opponent, it treats it as if it didn't happen. the match didn't happen, meaning that a lot of times what will happen is I'll get my opponent down to their last character with 2 hits left, they'll leave, and it means basically the match I played doesn't even matter, essentially. And but then, like, if you're losing, they'll just keep playing and expect you to quit if you wanted to preserve your record, I guess. So that's a big thing right now. A lot of people are sort of spamming the queue, basically just trying to get just have an undefeated record by just leaving any match they're losing.
That is a serious
It's a serious flaw, and it
That's what I'm looking
happens
for.
both in casual ranked play and as well as ranked match play. So
That's a huge problem.
yeah, so
It's like the problem that what Street Fighter had. That problem a
the
long
exact
time
same
ago.
problem with Street Fighter 5 when it launched too.
Yeah.
Which is like I've decided I'm not playing the online until they fix it.
Yeah.
Like I refuse to go back to it. And it's kind of sort of soured my taste on that game, which sucks.
Yeah,
But
because there's nothing worse than you're playing, you're having fun, and all of a sudden the person disappears, and then that happens 4 or 5 times in a row.
yeah, no,
That blows.
it happened to me one night a couple of days ago. It happened to me 8 times in a row.
See, that's
I was like, no,
Yeah,
I'm
but-
no more. I'm done.
you can't play that game. You can't enjoy
That's
playing the
funny.
game.
I didn't see that in a lot of reviews either.
Well, that's because it wasn't because I mean, if you played against other reviewers, obviously that's not going to
Right.
They're
happen.
not the kind of people who are going to drop.
Yeah, the
enthusiasts
Right.
and
like basically whenever it got to the public's hands, that's when this became an issue. So Brock, we're sort of short on time. What else did you play?
Oh, just Celeste, which I briefed. I'm playing it on Xbox.
There's a game you reviewed this week I want you to talk about.
Oh, right, Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah?
Yeah,
How was it?
It's Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah?
It's good. It's like the same game, but really, really pretty.
Sweet.
And there's mysterious orbs that I haven't seen anyone figure out
that's
what
what
they
I
do
heard.
yet.
No one's figured it
There's
out yet.
these things you find in the far reaches of the map, and you can pick them up and throw them around, but they don't do anything, and I don't know what they're there for.
I feel like they're tied to trophies, and since we can't see the trophy data yet, I'm guessing they're somehow tied together. Like, I'm interested to see when that trophy list pops, probably this weekend.
I forgot how many secrets there are in the game, like climbing the tower and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks really good. If you've never played Shadow of the Colossus, I'd highly recommend it. And if you've played it but want a prettier version,
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you know how The Last Guardian ties into Shadow of the Colossus?
We do, because there's actually this happened on an IGN live stream. They actually found basically I think it was like a barrel or something from from The Last Guardian
it's
in the world.
it's right at the start.
Okay.
Yeah. They hid it in the world itself, which it wasn't in the original game.
Huh. Interesting.
But that's the only thing.
Yeah, there's no,
because Ico ties in directly.
Directly, yeah.
But
Yeah.
as far as I can see, the Last Guardian thing was just like an Easter egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Because I was hoping they were going to try to wrap that all up as this is what the world is. You
I'm-
know,
I'm still-
i.e. that thing is
I think there's
Colossus
stuff.
or
I
something.
think there's stuff there that hasn't been found yet.
Yeah.
I think they hid shit here.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering when you said the orbs. I wonder if this is stuff that they're laying the groundwork for something.
I feel like in the next couple of weeks, when this game gets in the hands of the public, we're going to hear a lot more
Yeah,
about this.
once you get the real enthusiasts on there,
Yeah.
for sure.
Especially because a lot of those orbs that you talked about, you can't get them until you get all the upgrades from time trials and stuff. From what I've heard, anyway. So you maybe something even happens when you get all of them, but who knows? Okay, and as for me, I played Celeste as well. Fucking amazing game. I'm on the third chapter 3 now. Really love it. The music and the platforming is top notch.
It is very, very hard.
It's well, especially if you're like me and you're crazy and going for all the strawberries, because I have all of them so far, and I'm just these are so hard to get because they're the little collectibles.
Have you got any of the blue hearts yet?
No,
Oh, I found one. And I couldn't get it.
I haven't
don't know
actually
what to
seen
do.
one on the map yet. So maybe I haven't.
There's one at the very top. If you climb.
Okay, I have to look into that.
Yes.
And then the other game I played a lot this week, World of Warcraft. There's a reason why I'm going to talk
Knew
about
it.
this for 2 minutes, and then we're going to move on. So
Knew it.
hang tight for a second.
Yeah.
So the reason
Bathroom break time.
tweeting about it.
there's a reason I'm talking about World of Warcraft specifically, in that the Battle for Azeroth pre-orders went up this week, and if you pre-order the game, unlike other expansions, they give you access to the allied races early. Like all the new races in Battle for Azeroth, you get them right now if you want, if you pre-order the expansion, which is something they've never done before. Like when Mists of Pandaria came out, for example, and they added the pandas, they didn't do that. If you pre-ordered it, you got nothing.
Yeah.
And even all the collector's editions mounts and everything else, if you pre-order it, you get all those early too. Plus, you also get a level 110 boost. So if you have another character you want to boost to max level, you can, which is an $80 value, which is kind of cool that they threw that in. So I'm sort of playing through as my Lightforged Draenei. Right now, it's really cool. However, the progression to get to unlock the races right now requires a ton of work. You have to do basically.
You have to unlock the races?
Yeah. You won't have to when the full game comes out.
Okay.
Because they dated it for September of this year. You won't have to do that grind when the game comes out, but right now you do. Like it's sort of all the things you should have been doing already, like basically finishing the Argus campaign unlocks the Argus races, or likewise the Nightborn. You have to do their sort of quest line in order to get it, which takes about 20 to 30 hours per quest line.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So like, how does this work? Like, what's Lightforged, Nightborn?
So
the basics of like.
So the
what is a Lightborn Draenei?
So here are the difference. So first of all, each new race has their own set of racial abilities, just like every race in World of Warcraft does.
Except they're vaguely visually similar to the existing races.
Yeah. They're sort of takes on existing races. They're not. They actually look a lot more different than I thought they would be. Like when you actually create your character. So the four races that are here: the High Mountain Tauren, which are probably the most like the normal Tauren.
Yeah.
But their abilities, their racials are more geared towards tanks.
Yeah.
Like they have like a bunch of bonuses to health and armor and all kinds of things like that. And they're basically like normal Tauren, except they have moose antlers.
Okay.
Which is a home run.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, but my question for you is every single one of the race variations, are they with a different aligned with a different
yes and no. So the Draenei and High Mountain Taurens are with the Horde and the Alliance respectively.
Right.
The Nightborn are a take on the Night Elves, but
Okay.
they're part of the Horde. Because basically the story reason for that is that the Night Elves in sort of the story for the Nightborn basically betrayed them.
Okay.
And they're kind of like they're almost like the like a different evolution of the Night Elves that are sort of addicted to mana. They're kind of like a lot like the Blood Elves,
Right.
After sort of Silvermoon fell,
Right.
So which is why like the Blood Elves and them have a lot in common. That's why they joined the Horde.
So evil Night Elves, but then like the Lightforged Draenei are just like even nicer Draenei.
Yeah. Okay. Whereas the Void Elves are really cool. They're like high elves that escaped sort of the attack on Silvermoon in Warcraft 3 by sort of escaping to the Void. They developed this technology that allows them to enter basically the Void, which is like basically dark space essentially.
Right.
And they sort of live there, and they evolve differently than normal high elves.
Right. So they're not Blood Elves, they're Void Elves, and are they Alliance?
They're Alliance.
Okay. So that's interesting. That's a fun twist on things.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So it's kind of cool. So
yeah, that answers all my questions.
Cool.
Thank you.
And that's your 2-minute World of Warcraft update.
Indeed.
Again, it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad that they sort of did that this time around to get people playing now.
Cool.
So let's wrap up just the quick news stories we have this week, because I do want to talk about one of them in particular. In fact, I'm going to skip this Yakuza story. Yakuza 6 has a release date. April 17th.
Yay, Yakuza 6!
Yeah. It was delayed because it was supposed to come out
Yes, it was.
next month, but it at least has an actual release date now. So Red Dead Redemption 2, speaking of release dates, has a release date. Rockstar has announced that it will arrive on October 26th of this year. That's the latest game we know about. It's like the only game's release date we know like past.
You know what else is going to be released in October?
What?
Nothing now.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Get out of the way.
Because this is the normal date that Battlefield would launch on, or because it would be the week before Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to think that we'll get this and then Call of Duty like back to back essentially.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to realize that I'll only be playing one of those games.
Yeah, Call of Duty, right?
Yeah, Call of Duty for the intense story mode.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome that even though it got delayed because they said spring 2018 for the longest time, I'm glad there's at least a release date now, and we don't have to keep wondering about it.
Yeah.
And we probably won't hear about it again until E3 or sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then last bit of news.
Rockstar don't really need to market this game. It's going to do gangbusters regardless.
They just have to put the Rockstar logo on a box, and people will buy it.
It's their first game since, 2012?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Grand Theft Auto 3 came out in 2013, I believe.
Okay.
It was the same year that PS3.
So it'll have been 6 years?
PS4.
5 years?
Grand Theft Auto Online is like
It's still
It's
printing
been
money.
doing gangbusters. Like it's just like people love that.
There was an announcement from NPD that it was the most profitable game of like this year, period, out of any game.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
which is crazy.
Yeah, totally crazy.
So last bit of news, Ubisoft has announced the 3 DLC packs coming as part of Far Cry 5 Season Pass. All these sound really interesting. So there's one that's called Hour of Darkness, which is you travel back to Vietnam and you fight Viet Cong soldiers. It kind of like the artwork makes it look like almost like a grindhouse thing. Like I feel like it's going to be a parody of 80s action movies is what it seems like.
Okay. Like Rambo?
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking it's like that. Or it's going to have some supernatural twist. Like have you guys seen the movie Heavy Metal at all? So like the part with the pilot, I think it's going to be something like that. They're going to do. They just don't want to talk about what that is yet. There's also Dead Living Zombies, where players face hordes of zombies in multiple B-movie scenarios. Almost like Call of Duty zombies. And then Lost on Mars, which is my favorite. Players leave Earth behind to go toe to claws with Martian arachnids. So you fight giant spiders on Mars. That
I'm
sounds
sure you're fighting
totally
Martian
awesome.
erections, but that works too.
Was David Bowie?
Yeah. It sounds like with a lot of these, they're totally going with like a unique, like almost like Grindhouse style with them, or just like Blood Dragon, which is totally
Right.
awesome. They also announced, though, as part of the Season Pass announcement, that Far Cry 3 Classic Edition is also coming as well, which will launch sometime in the summer, a full month early for Season Pass owners, and it's free. It comes with it, but you can buy it separately if you want as well.
Right.
Okay, so let's quickly run through new releases this week. Shadow of the Colossus is out on PS4 this week. Brock liked it. A lot of people are liking it.
I love the original Shadow of the Colossus. It's one of my favorite games.
It's my second favorite game of all time. I have a funny feeling on Tuesday I'm just going to speed run it and beat it in one sitting. It's going to be amazing. Under Night In Birth EXE Late ST is out this week.
Excuse me.
It's a fighting game from Arc System Works. Same guys who made Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Right.
It's an anime game. So, Dragon Quest Builders comes to Switch. You can finally have your Minecraft clone on Switch, even though Minecraft's.
I've heard some really good things about that game.
I played it on PS4 and wasn't a huge fan of it. But I know a lot of people who liked it. Like Dragon Quest nerds are gonna like that game.
Yeah.
And last but not least, the 7 Deadly Sins: Knights of Britannia is out this week. It's like a action adventure game in the 7 Deadly Sins universe, which is an anime on Netflix that people seem to like. I've never seen it though, despite the fact that I like anime. And that's kind of it for our show this week. But before we go, True Plugs go.
I'm at D McMillan on Twitter. I don't know if you heard that. That's the thing. I'm on Twitter and sometimes I say weird shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do say weird shit on there.
it's fair.
Brock.
I'm Brock McLaughlin on Twitter. That's MC Laugh, because I'd be making you laugh all the time. You can find me on my website, brockstargaming.com. And you can find me on Kijiji looking for weird taxidermy this week, because I really want some weird shit for my home.
This sounds about right. As for me,
Yeah, I want like last year for my mom's birthday, I got my mom a dead gopher, or no, a dead duck, and it had a cigarette in its mouth and a beer can next to it, and she thought it was hilarious. So now I want that for my house, but something even weirder.
Yeah.
Jesus
I go to Etsy, but fucking shipping on Etsy is crazy. So I just like abolish that.
you'll just go to some dude's house and grab.
Yeah,
his
like
duck.
I want a dolphin with a blowhole I can use for things.
How many people are going to taxidermy a dolphin?
weird?
That's a really big thing to taxidermy. I don't know if you know this, but dolphins weigh several hundred pounds.
Guys, the podcast checks have come in from our sponsor Squarespace.
What?
Well, how come you got money? I didn't get
Oh,
money.
sorry. I didn't know it was split 3 ways.
I thought we were sponsored by Chipotle. What happened to that?
No, it's more about Squarespace now. It's a great place to build your shitty website.
Yeah.
Game Moose is
yeah.
not sponsored by Squarespace or Chipotle.
And nor did we build our website with it.
No, God, no. No real professional would ever use Squarespace.
No.
No.
And last but not least, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford. That's TURFORD. Also, you can find our website, game-moose.com, where all of our content lives, including this podcast. You can find us on Twitter at game_moose_cast, on Facebook at facebook.com/game-moose-podcast, and podcast services around the globe. Also, my Lost Fear review will be up by the time you hear this. I was super busy this week and didn't have time to finish it. So it should be up. It will be up on Sunday. So check that out. And I really like that game. We didn't talk about it before, but yeah, it was really good. Anyways, for Drew McMillan and Brock McLaughlin, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been episode 111 of the Game Moose podcast, and we're out.